Hello everyone, it is Saturday night, April 6th, just after 11:30 p.m., and welcome into tonight's video weather discussion here, where we are going to have a brief update on the severe thunderstorm risk across portions of the state for Sunday. And we're also going to have an update on the expected weather conditions for the viewing of the solar eclipse on Monday afternoon. But to start off with, we're going to start off with that severe thunderstorm risk, which once again we're watching for on Sunday. And this is going to be associated with the storm system moving through the region. It's actually going to bring some scattered rain showers out here to portions of Missouri, Iowa overnight tonight. Some of this rain shower activity may actually start to move into portions of western Illinois here as we get into very late tonight and early in the Sunday morning time frame, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms. And as you can see here, as we go through the morning hours here on Sunday, you can see this reflectivity here across the state. Like I said, these are isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms that we could expect for some portions of the state here Sunday morning as that storm system moves in here. And then as we go through the day here, during the late morning, the middle of the day, the early afternoon, you can see how some of this shower and thunderstorm activity flares up a little bit as this frontal boundary moves across the state during the, like I said, late morning, middle of the day time frame. And you can see here, as we go deeper into the afternoon here, we can continue to see some activity flare up ahead of this, almost like a dry line feature here across the state of Illinois here. And we get this scattered shower and thunderstorm development that occurs, and this activity essentially develops and moves in an easterly sort of direction here across the state through the day on Sunday. It is possible we could be looking at an isolated severe weather threat across the southern half of the state with some of this activity. There's going to be an influx of moisture coming in from the south ahead of this frontal boundary out here, moving in from Missouri. So there's going to be an influx of moisture there. We're going to also see an increase of instability down here as well, with some shear overlapping the area as well. So down here across the southern part of the state, that is where we're going to be watching for an isolated severe weather risk. Now, outside of that corridor, other portions of the state, you will see some shower and thunderstorms possible as well. But as for the severe weather threat, like I said, that generally appears as though it's going to be down here across pretty much the southern half of the state, roughly from I-72 southward. And I'll actually show you our severe weather forecast here in one moment. But as you can see, as we work through the afternoon, the evening here, some of this activity on this particular model looks on the vigorous side down here across the southern tip of Illinois. And then as we head into the mid to late evening, early Sunday night here, this is around 9-10 p.m. time frame, you can see that activity is now exiting the state off towards the east. So as we work into Sunday night, things are going to quiet down and things are going to dry out across the state of Illinois. So with that said here, let's take a peek at that severe weather forecast that I was just mentioning. And as you can see here, roughly from, this is the I-72 corridor here, so roughly from the I-72 corridor down south through the I-70 corridor, down south through the I-64 corridor here, that is where we're going to be looking at that severe weather threat. As you can see here, pretty much all of southern Illinois up into parts of central Illinois here is where we're going to see that isolated severe weather risk. So if you're in places like Springfield, maybe as far north as Champaign, the St. Louis area, Effingham areas, down to Mount Vernon, Centralia, down through the Carbondale, Paducah areas, all of this area shaded in the light blue color, that is where we are expecting that isolated severe weather risk for the day on Sunday. Pretty much from the morning into the afternoon and into the evening hours is when we could be dealing with that severe weather threat on Sunday. And once again, this is going to be a level 1 severe thunderstorm risk. So that essentially means we're going to be expecting isolated severe thunderstorms with this activity. Further to the north, as I mentioned, you can see this brown area here. That essentially represents where we're going to see some just general showers and thunderstorms. No severe weather threat up across these areas in brown. That's where, like I said, you'll just get some general showers and thunderstorms up there. It'll be down south here where we're expecting that isolated severe weather risk for Sunday. Now, in addition to the severe weather risk for Sunday, another thing obviously that has a lot of attention right now is the solar eclipse coming up for Monday afternoon. So, starting off here Sunday night, you would think looking at this map for Sunday night, we were going to have good conditions coming in for Monday. We have our storm system up across the Minnesota area here Sunday night. Cold front moving through the region, or more of a dry line, I should say. All the precipitation is up north and east by the time we get to Sunday night. And you can see here, generally clear skies as we move into Sunday night across the central portion of the region here. That's Sunday night. However, as we work into Monday here, you'll notice Monday morning, we start to see some clouds move into the southern portions of the state here, especially down in Missouri, parts of southern Indiana, Kentucky. We start to see some high-level clouds start to develop and stream into the region ahead of what is going to be the next developing storm system that'll affect the state of Illinois towards the middle and end of this upcoming week. But like I said, these high clouds are going to start to develop, and they're really going to stream in here. This is for right around noon. So this is noon on Monday on this particular weather forecast model here. And you see all these colors here, these whites, purples, blues, reds here. These are these high clouds that are developing down across the southern plains. They're developing and moving northeastward. So this is for right around noon on Monday here. So as we move to 1 p.m., you can see how these clouds continue to stream in from the southwest. This is for 1 p.m. Jumping ahead to 2 p.m., this is pretty much about when the eclipse is occurring, around 2 p.m., just after 2 p.m. Monday afternoon. And you can see here, we have this milky white color, even some blues, purples, reds here. These darker colors represent colder cloud tops, which sometimes when we're dealing with high cloud cover, high-level cloud cover, these colder cloud tops could be indicative of maybe a little bit of virga aloft, or some thicker high-level cirrus clouds as well. So this is a little bit of a concern here because obviously we're dealing with the path of totality for this eclipse kind of to be within this range right here. This is pretty much your path of totality down there for the eclipse. So when you start dealing with the possibility of these high clouds streaming in time for this eclipse to occur, it is concerning. The thing with the high clouds is, the high cloud cover that is possible, is sometimes these cirrus clouds are very thin. If they do happen to be thin, we'll be able to see the eclipse fully through those high, thin cirrus clouds. However, if some of these cirrus high-level clouds are more on the thicker side, it may be a struggle in some areas to see the eclipse compared to other areas. So if you are happening to head downstate for that eclipse on Monday, even if you're heading down to Missouri, maybe even southern Indiana, you might have to contend with a little bit of high-level cloud cover. For some areas, like I said, if it's a thicker, high-level cloud cover, it may be an issue. For other areas, it might be a thinner layer of high cloud cover. So this is something we're going to continue to watch here over the next day or so as we get closer to Monday afternoon. But I do want to put it out there. We are watching the potential that we could have some issues with some high-level cloud cover moving into the corridor from Missouri, southern Illinois, into south-central Indiana, right through that path of totality. So that's going to be something we're watching for. Now, for you folks across northern and central Illinois, you're not going to see totality. The eclipse is going to be roughly between a 90% to 99% eclipse across the remainder of the state, depending on where you live. I believe the 90% line comes right up here, and then obviously the edge of totality is kind of right in this region down here. So within this corridor here, this is where you're going to see between a 90 to 99% eclipse. So it's not going to be enough to turn the sky dark. It's not going to be enough to take off those eclipse glasses in this corridor, and you're not going to really see any huge effects unless you're looking at the sun with those eclipse glasses on within this corridor. But as you can see here, this particular model is not showing much in the way of cloud cover. So for you folks across northern and central Illinois, like I said, even though you're not going to see totality and you're going to have to keep those solar eclipse glasses on, it does look like the cloud cover is going to be far less of an issue up north compared to where it will be down here across southern Illinois in that path of totality. So we're going to continue to watch the cloud situation for Monday, because obviously this is a big deal coming up here with the eclipse coming up for Monday. Now, the good news for Monday is it is going to be mild on Monday. We're going to see, this is actually a little bit low here, but we're expecting temperatures in the 60s and 70s across the entire state of Illinois for Monday. Like I said, this is probably a little bit low on this particular model here. So it is going to be a mild to warm day across the state for the eclipse on Monday. So good news with the temperatures, bad news, maybe a little bit of cloud cover situation we're going to have to be watching for across portions of the state. And like I said, we'll keep an eye on that cloud cover potential, and we will continue to update on it here over the next couple of days. So with that said here, just a brief recap of what we have discussed in this video. Once again, we are watching for an isolated severe thunderstorm potential across all of southern and up into portions of central Illinois for Sunday. Pretty much the I-72 corridor kind of runs right up along here, so pretty much from I-72 southward across the remainder of southern Illinois. That is where that severe weather risk is going to be for Sunday. Pretty much the late morning all the way through the afternoon and into the evening is going to be that severe weather risk. And then once again for the eclipse on Monday, which is going to occur right around or just after 2 p.m. Monday afternoon, we are watching the potential for maybe a little bit of high-level cloud cover to be an issue, especially across that path of totality from southern Missouri up through southern Illinois and south central Indiana. So we will continue to monitor the cloud forecast and the weather forecast for Monday, and we will provide additional updates as needed. But for now, that really wraps it up for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. We will probably be back on tomorrow with another update, not only regarding the severe weather threat for tomorrow on Sunday, but also that solar eclipse weather forecast for Monday. But as for now, everyone have a great remainder of your Saturday night.